you feeling, Jacob? You feeling better?
I think I'll make it.
Because Jacob had a headache, but we are court ordered. We have to watch Disney Channel original movies. I want to take a break. This movie, I feel like I've been attacked watching this movie, but the judge says we have to keep watching these movies.
Yeah.
No breaks allowed here. Add a whole new pod. The podcast all about, legally also only about Disney Channel original movies. I shouted out my headache-strained co-host,
Jacob Telejohn.
And I, of course, I just always have a headache. You know, I'm like the Hulk. My secret is I just always feel terrible. I'm Lucas Melby. And
speaking of Hulk, new She-Hulk show coming out.
Hey, we do enough, not necessarily shilling, but we are early proponents of Disney Plus, and especially early on in Disney Plus. Some of the probably biggest attractions they had were Disney Channel original movies.
That's right.
So we've done enough evangelizing for them. I don't want to talk about the She-Hulk trailer. People say the CG's bad. I'm like, sure, I guess. Multiverse of Madness, that was a fucking mess of a movie. They should have called it Multiverse of Badness. Fuck!
Oh,
all right, that's the episode.
That's a wrap.
No, actually, so we had a whole new pop as a previously new segment. We didn't really describe the segment, but in retrospect, I'll call it like a merch corner, merch spotlight with our Monopoly last week. This won't be I don't even know if I should call this a new segment, but before we talk about our movie today, because I don't know how much we'll really have to say, but I gave something a second chance.
Wow.
You want to know what I watched last night, Jacob?
What did you rewatch?
I watched a little movie, a little Disney Channel original movie called Can of Worms.
Oh, where was my invite?
What prompted me to do this was I was killing some time at work, came across some, people ranking Disney Channel original movies.
And somebody had it high?
No.
Oh, they didn't even.
But then I also saw some list of underrated Disney Channel original movies. Also wasn't on the list. So then I'm like, feeling a little self-conscious, a little concerned. Like, well, maybe Can of Worms is an early movie. Maybe I'm just rating it too highly. Maybe it's really not that great.
It's a fucking great movie.
I'll say, movie's still pretty good.
Okay.
You know what? It gets said a lot. They don't make them like they used to. They do not make Disney Channel original movies. Just watching that after being immersed in the kind of 2010s or lead into the 2010s that we're at now.
It's taken a turn.
It has a different feel. There's even parts of it, I think I said at the time, one of my only main criticisms is there's some little goofy parts where like he's sped up running around, they play silly music or whatever. That makes it feel like a Disney Channel original movie. But there's other parts of it that make it feel kind of like a real movie. There's some bad effects and stuff too, but that scene where he meets the slime alien lawyer, that's like a top 5 all-time Disney Channel original movie sequence. The
one where he's eating all the garbage?
Exactly, and then he eats corn on the cob, and then it starts popping off popcorn.
Oh, that was
genuinely disgusting.
Well,
more the burger that he eats in the lead into that. Can of Worms, still great. So weird that they made that. Where now we watch a Disney Channel original movie, even if the premise seems weird going in. Though I guess we do get some like hatching pizza and that's still now, but like today's movie, it's like, paint by numbers. This is pulling together various tropes from 5 different DCOMs, putting into one. But back then it's like, hey, this is a movie for kids. I don't know, weird aliens. Maybe Mike Pillsbury is actually secretly an alien. Watching that with a second set of eyes, being like, are we going to get an answer for that? Still not addressed?
No.
Whether he was secretly an alien the whole time?
I think he was.
Do you remember Scott Schreibner, the bully kid?
The name I remember.
Oh, there's some great stuff.
Didn't the bully become his friend, though?
It's kind of like a Vegeta Dragon Ball Z thing where they're uneasy allies that get brought together by circumstances of aliens.
Can of Worms confirmed rewatchable.
Remember that floating pink fish head girl?
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is the thing is all of these aliens have ulterior motives that they want for Mike Pillsbury. Like one's like the TV show agent or whatever. Yeah. She just wants to go on a date with Mike.
Oh.
I'm like, what's the monkey's paw? What's the bad part of that deal here? I don't know, but I would have been like, all right, you know what? I'm siding with her. Suck me up into your portal. Let's go through the Stargate.
Suck me up.
That dog's got like a little mouth thing around his.
Oh, I remember that
Malcolm
too.
McDowell's character.
Yeah.
That's probably enough to say about Can of Worms. It's a great movie. It's a great DCOM.
If you haven't listened to the episode, maybe you re-listen to it. Maybe maybe we had fun.
I don't know how good of an episode that is. I think, it's one of our earlier ones. Some podcasts say, like, don't listen to our earlier ones really because we have problematic humor or something. For us, it's more like those early episodes probably even sound slightly worse than these episodes. But otherwise, we're basically still the same people, I think. Maybe Jacob talks even less in those ones. Who knows? But go give it a listen. And I'll cut it off there because I can speak effusively about Can of Worms some more, but I guess we got to talk about today's DCOM.
See, and going into today's, we were kind of looking forward to maybe having a shorter episode, not thinking that this was going to be a very good movie, not really knowing anything about the movie, but I think we were both,
It'll probably still be a shorter episode.
I mean, not after Can of Worms.
Not after Jacob's like, I'm going to draw this out. I mean, already it was a shorter movie. Starstruck, the movie we're talking about today.
We were pleasantly surprised.
Like 80 minutes. It was like 82 or 84 with credits.
Shorter than usual.
Point in favor, maybe, that it wasn't as long as something else. But as I said just a little bit ago, this is like a DCOM-ass DCOM.
Yeah.
Tween love story.
Music,
pop star. Hey, have you heard this? Here's a character from one life, and they're meeting a character from a different life. They don't get along. He's a pop star. Are we stuck in the suburbs? No, we're in LA, actually.
Oh, that is true.
And worlds collide, but they come out the other side. Maybe they're going to kiss. We don't know. Maybe. We don't see it.
We can't.
But probably.
We legally can't because he's, over the age of... If she's under, if she's a...
I don't know if it's against the law for a 21-year-old actor to kiss a 15-year-old actor, but Jacob says it is. And Jacob is somebody who would be up on some of those legal statutes. Knowing, California versus Utah. Jacob says Utah, free reign. You go wild in Utah.
Want. Yes. Marry whoever you want.
Starstruck is the name of this movie. I was describing to Jacob that I think I brought up in the Read It and Weep episode that they're not really posters, but if you search the movie on IMDb, you get something in there. And the cover of this movie looks like if they did a kid novelization of this book that was sold at a Scholastic book fair. But that's just the original poster for this movie. Mm-hmm. And we know it's called Starstruck because right away at the beginning of the movie, we get a song called Starstruck that is in-universe sung by one of our main characters, Christopher Wilde. And as we're hearing him singing at a concert, we're getting panning shots of the City of Angels, Los Angeles. Christopher Wilde is played by Sterling Knight, who I guess was in Sunny with a Chance. And I'm not going to mince any words here. I think Sterling Knight looks creepy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there was a certain look that he would put on, like that smile and glimmering eye thing that they, called to attention multiple times throughout it. But
his character is very much fashioned off of the
Justin Bieber.
Teen heartthrob of the time, Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
This movie came out in 2010, absolutely. So prime Bieber Beliebers period.
Beliebers.
I think that's what they maybe called themselves. And Jacob said he gave some Michael Jackson vibes, just as far as he's got a weird looking face. It looks like, so Michael Jackson, he had a weird life. Didn't he get burned in that Pepsi commercial? And then he was having some weird depigmentization with his skin, or I mean, bleaching his skin. And then there's all this plastic surgery and stuff. He had reasons, maybe self-imposed reasons for looking the way he did, but presumably this is just how Sterling Knight looks.
He had the Thriller jacket, which I was calling attention to.
Yes, that's true. But I'm just saying, this kid creepy.
Yeah.
Or sorry, this man creepy.
Yeah, he said he
but
was
apparently
21.
Maybe girls like him. At least that's within this movie.
Oh, I mean,
when he's supposed to be
him.
Putting the moves on, giving his what's it in Zoolander, the cold steel or blue steel
blue
look.
Steel, I think. Yeah.
I'm just don't look at me like that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, that's maybe a thing that gets associated with people they looked at me, whatever way, a certain way, and yeah, he was. I don't know. I didn't like that.
This is one of those times where, when we do the podcast, I'll be thinking about what I want to say next.
And I'm just filling space for you.
I don't even listen to what Jacob says, and then I listen to it when I'm editing. I'm like, what the fuck did he just say?
Or we can just cut
that bit out. And this time I listen to Jacob, I'm like, he added nothing there.
I'll give you the time. I'm seeing your pace, and you're looking for what to say.
Well, so he's our one main
He's
character.
creepy. That's what we're getting at. He looks creepy.
Can of Worms, awesome. Sterling Knight, creepy. Good name, though.
Hopefully you've skipped everything up till this point, because you haven't missed much.
Our other main character is Jessica, who we don't see it immediately because we first see her sister, Sarah.
Who looks like older person trying to play a very young person.
And we looked her up and she was around this time, maybe 26, 27.
Playing like 16 or something?
At the very least 16, at the oldest 18, because she's a high schooler.
Yeah.
But she can drive.
Yes. So, yeah.
And she is watching a show, or just, no, she's watching the concert footage of this. It was like at night in LA, but it was maybe live, but I don't think it was live.
Yeah.
Or just re-airing. Whatever the case, they're in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Yes, because he's at, what was it, the Staples Center or whatever?
They only showed the Staples Center. We don't know if he was inside of it.
A lot of extras.
It's a big crowd to fill up.
A lot of extras.
And then Jessica is standing in front of the TV, blocking it. Jessica is our main character, really. The female love interest. Spoiler alert for Christopher Wilde.
There really are only kind of like the four main characters, but really it is between just these two for a lot of the movie.
Which isn't to say that she likes Christopher at this moment. She despises Christopher.
Hates him.
But her sister loves him, is yelling at her to get out of the way of the TV. So we're establishing character motivations, characters' relationships. They're going to go on a trip to visit their grandma in California, specifically LA or Hollywood. And the sister's very excited about this because she's going to be in Christopher Wilde's backyard, his stomping grounds. It's kind of like the Wizards of Waverly Place. Well, actually, there's a lot of connections between Selena Gomez's character and that, and I feel like Jessica's character here, where they're trying to force that kind of mold onto her of being like super snarky girl who doesn't want to go on family vacations. Oh. Because Selena didn't want to go to wherever they went in Wizards of Waverly Place. And this girl doesn't want to go to California, even though it's to visit their grandma. And the dad's like, we haven't seen grandma in forever. You're coming. Anyways, we're establishing quickly the different lives our main characters live. Because we're seeing... now I want to keep calling him Sterling Knight. But no, Christopher Wilde. He is managed by his parents, and they're all up in his business. They're at his mansion, and they're getting visited by, I think, a movie director, or at least a big shot movie producer who's giving him the wheeling dingers, like, hey, boy, I love you for this part. You know, I want you in this picture, but you gotta kind of tone it down. You're in the tabloids all the time.
Like he's like, no good press, no good press, no bad press, no press at all. Just stay at home.
Stay home the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber... I don't think he would have been quite in the tabloids around this time for some of the stuff the very salacious stuff. But Leonardo DiCaprio, I know, was definitely somebody that was being hounded by the press, or like Britney Spears, that kind of thing. Meanwhile, we're catching up with Jessica, who is just hanging out with her sister, who is like with her fan club of Christopher Wilde friend, and they have this LA map that they just have like to stalk Christopher Wilde. They know all of
They're creepy. Maybe one of the creepier things is just how old she looks, and she dresses like she's like from the 50s. I don't know. It's just it's a unique style and a unique casting choice.
And I think part of the reason the director was there was this current story is that Christopher had gone to this under 21 club.
Yes.
He was there with his friend / manager Stubby.
And maybe girlfriend.
And kind of will learn a PR kind of celebrity couple, but they're not really a couple. Her name was Alexis Bender, I believe.
Oh,
and
Bender.
There was something with that the paparazzi was snapping pics. The paparazzi is a force to be reckoned with in this movie. You do not mess around with the paparazzi.
No.
Jacob was talking about how there's really only 4 characters. One of those characters is the paparazzi.
That's fair.
As we go through my notes, there'll be lots of things where I'm just like, thing is happening, suddenly paparazzi.
And just in random spots, not just like at the club.
I kind of wish they played into it more. There's a part where we see surfers coming up, and one of the characters is like, oh no, people.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish it was like, oh no, there's surfer paparazzi that they snuck up on us through the water.
It almost seems like a PSA almost, like a screw the paparazzi. Like, I mean,
certainly now.
Like there's even like a speech about it.
Yeah. Part of it is that I don't care about celebrity lives that much, so I don't feed into the paparazzi.
What about Princess Di, man?
I'm
Chased
talking
by
about
the papas.
with the spate of whatever of different Britney Spears documentaries and specials, and that really dove into just kind of how the paparazzi kind of just ruined her life. So I think in present day, probably more people are being like, yeah, fuck the paparazzi. In 2010, I don't know. But I'm not saying Starstruck is a morally upstanding movie that has a really good message or anything. What I am saying is it's a movie where some people from Kalamazoo go to their grandma's house, and they go to grandma's house, and we find out that grandpa's dead, out of the picture.
Yes.
And both of the main characters, both parents present, but grandpa's dead.
Yeah, grandpa is dead.
But
grandma's got a nice interracial relationship
very progressive.
going.
She is dating a black man named Howard.
It looks like Danny Glover.
Who seems to be pretty handy because he has fixed up a car that she is offering to the sister to drive, but we're supposed to think it's an ugly car. But
it's cool.
Thought it looked cool.
It's like a pink, I don't know, kind of just an old school car.
I think
I don't know what
based on a video game called Vigilante 8, where a character drove a car that I think was called a Gremlin. I think it kind of looks like that. If that's not a real car and I'm completely wrong,
I've heard of that.
I am recognizing that I am wrong within the episode this time. It doesn't need to be next episode.
After every statement, you just got to say, I might be wrong.
But I think it's a cool car, but we're supposed to think it's not a cool car as the audience members. That night, the sister talks Jessica into, because she gets like a hot tip from her fan club friend that Christopher's going to be going to this nightclub under 21. It's for kids. It's cool. And that they're going to go intercept them there. So she brings Jessica along, and Jessica sits in the car. And then the sister like runs up and messes with Stubby, the manager. Yeah,
she acts like she's under this impression that they know her because she's been the number 1 fan or whatever since the beginning. She grabs Stubby's hand to like go into the club with them. The girlfriend of
Christopher
asks, like, oh, do you know her? And he's like, not yet.
So they go into the club. Christopher, meanwhile, sneaks in the back.
We never see him sneak out, though, so I don't know how we
definitely see. It's a major point.
Get out of the car? When does he get out of the car?
Oh, well, we don't see him get out of the car.
No.
I thought you were talking about sneak back out of the building.
No. We see him just coming down this alleyway.
Jacob needs to see every moment. He needs to see them parking the car. He needs to see them exiting the car.
Well, no, because him and Stubby were in front of this thing, and Stubby gets out, and he's still in the vehicle. And then a valet comes and takes the car away. Is that when he maybe gets out?
I don't fucking know.
It's just a plot hole. I don't like it.
He's got a hoodie over his head. He's all hiding. Because the paparazzi, they can't see him. But why couldn't he just stay at home? I don't know, but he has to go out. I think it's maybe Alexis's birthday or something.
Yeah, it is her birthday. His kind of girlfriend. But the paparazzi cannot go into the club because they are over the age of 21.
That was my justification. I don't know if that's actually true.
I like it. We're going with it.
Because, I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense, because unless the bouncer's just like, you can't come in. Because later we'll go to a hospital and the paparazzi go inside the hospital. But Christopher sneaks in. He performs the song. I don't know what this one's called. I think it was maybe called Shades. It was fine.
All of the songs, or I don't know, 4, however many they were all enjoyable. I wasn't like really annoyed by any of them.
Jacob says they're all certified bangers.
Well, platinums, to be honest. Let's be honest.
Yeah, 2 or 3 platinum records on
3 gold, you know.
Well, if you get platinum, you already get gold.
That's fair.
That's my understanding. He performs, and then he's going to sneak out, and as he's sneaking out, Jessica had gotten impatient about how long it was taking her sister to come out. So she decides to, I guess, try to sneak in the back too for some reason. And she gets hit on the head by the door as Christopher's exiting.
He's running out and she falls to the ground. And he's like, I'm sorry. Do you want to, what does he ask her? Like, you want an autograph or something? She's like, no, I hate you kind of thing.
Yeah, whether out of...
So he takes her saying that like, oh my God, everybody loves me. And he's like, oh God, you must, we need to get you to the hospital. So it was kind of a funny little...
Okay, so it was like genuine concern of his.
Because he thought obviously she would love him. So they go to the hospital.
He's concerned and pulls her into Stubby's car. And Stubby's like, who this bitch?
And then she goes, I don't feel so...
She throws up on his shoes.
Yes.
Man, it's like a 2-person car, so Stubby can't come. So he takes the car to the hospital.
Yes.
She doesn't have a concussion, and she's like, why did I throw up? And the doctor's like, because this guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he said this, what does he call him, a moron? Or this?
Doofus, maybe.
This doofus. And then there's like, well, he's my brother-in-law.
And I was like, oh, that sucks for the doctor.
Yeah. He was a good character, though. We both liked him. We
never see him again.
No, sad.
So yeah, they're at the hospital, but then, as I said a little bit ago, the paparazzi's at the hospital. So then they take the doctor's car, and Jessica, we'd already been getting a bit of it up to this point, but then really starts to crank up the, I'm like super snarky and I hate you, even though everybody loves you, but that doesn't mean I like you because you suck. I hate your music or whatever.
And yeah, like throughout this whole movie, she's kind of just got like, she's just always kind of like I don't know.
And she needs
snotty.
to get home. We don't really know what happened with her sister.
She's rude, mean.
Somehow her sister gets home.
Yes.
I mean, she takes the car, but then didn't
because
Jessica
we do
have
see the car.
Keys,
yeah,
though?
we do see the car back at the house later. But then that would also mean that she is ditching her sister. Like, you know, she just assumed her sister somehow got home.
Oh, yeah. So he has to take her immediately to his house because her parents call him to say the
producer
director's
or director
there,
or whatever, yes.
and that he needs to come and perform a song for the director's daughters.
The two biggest fans, okay.
So he brings Jessica, to the mansion, shoves her up in his guest room. Some more, like, kind of back and forth dialogue stuff of her being snarky to him and him just trying to be, like, the nice guy. And he's like, oh, man, everybody just loves me. Hey, it's all cool.
So I'm going to bring
right?
you to my guest room. And the guest room just had wild. Just like a giant wild on the side of the wall. Just neon signs.
As in his last name.
Yes.
At first you were saying, like, this party was wild. And I'm like, no, it actually seemed pretty, like, toned down. Mostly, like, adults there.
Yes.
So then he performs a song. He's on his acoustic guitar. It seems like he's singing it to her in a way. And this song is called Hero.
She's up on the balcony when this is happening. Or yeah, I mean, like, it says, I'll be your Superman, and they're, like, locking eyes. And
no,
like,
he literally says, I'm no Superman.
Yeah,
or something like that. I may not be Superman.
They lock eyes, and she smiles for the first time on her face.
And at least seeing some online chatter on, like, Letterboxd and stuff for this movie, this seems to have been a popular song at the time, and we get to hear it at least 2 times over the course of the movie.
Yeah,
but I thought it was interesting that he's playing this on an acoustic guitar when there is clearly piano being played with him. And it was kind of an inverse of when he's playing at the club where he has a full band with him. But the backing music for him sounds like it's really just kind of like synthesizer stuff with maybe like a drum. But he's got a bass guitar, he's got a lead guitar playing with him. But really no discernible notes that you could associate with guitars. So there we had kind of a missing music, and here we have phantom music popping up. What I'm saying is this movie's a piece of shit.
Wow.
I don't hold back. I'm not a liar like Christopher.
Christopher Wallace, a.k.a. Notorious B.I.G.
Oh, I never knew.
Yeah.
That's why he looks so weird. He went into hiding. He had to reduce his weight and change his skin color. So Jessica seems to be moved, and I thought this was going to maybe be like a quick turnaround from her snarkiness. But then she continues to act fairly bitchy on the ride back.
I didn't want to say it. I'm glad someone said it.
Yeah, Jacob, she's acting like a bitch, twat.
No, she is. Like, and it's like a thing she puts on like the whole movie. It's not like it just like comes and goes. I don't know.
As I said, it seemed kind of like what I gathered from
she's always mad.
Selena Gomez's character in Wizards of Waverly Place, or even maybe to a slightly lesser extent in the Princess Protection Program, but just really cranked up in this to a way where the only direct analog I can come up with is the trope within at least Japanese anime, maybe also just other Japanese media generally, of the tsundere, which is kind of playing hard to get type character where, you know, she's putting it up as like a front because she doesn't want to just come off as too sensitive to like the boy she likes. And in the end, you know, she'll fall in love or whatever. That is what she's playing to a T right here.
100%.
And she's just like, just take me home. I think on the ride back is where
they're getting
followed
by the first paparazzi
in a black van.
Yeah.
Paparazzi are evil, and they all seem to have to drive in black vans.
Yeah, gotta.
So he drops her off at the grandma's house and is about to leave.
But notices the van's kind of stalking him. So he immediately says, let me give you $5,000. Help me.
Jessica's like, okay, I guess you can sleep in the garage. Oh, you'll need a disguise to leave tomorrow. Here's this hat. It was my grandpa's.
And he's like, oh, are you sure? And he's like,
and
yeah,
she immediately like turns
dead.
around. She's like, oh, it's okay. You remind me of him.
You look good in it.
I'm like, what is this weird relationship she had with her grandpa? That comes up later on where she's like, you remind me of my grandpa. I'm like, oh, okay. And he's just, the hat is just a bucket hat that he's wearing.
Well, there is a funny kind of scene later on.
Does not look like it would be old enough for a grandpa to have worn.
The hat, though, he wears the rest of the movie.
And he's working it.
He wears it the rest of the movie, and there's one point, so this is where the connection we have the hat and grandpa, and there's another point where she kind of wears like a scarf or something kind of over her head like an older woman might, and they're kind of seen together with this combo of bucket hat from grandpa, the old woman's scarf. Thought it was a kind of a funny little thing.
But yeah, this is her warming up because of grandpa.
Yeah.
So they have a cute little moment here.
Isn't she just immediately mad though?
Then she kind of ends it by being like, still trying to play it kind of hard to get, kind of, you know, like, you remind me of my grandpa, but I'm not your grandma. Whatever. Keep dreaming, G-Paw.
Oh, no.
The next morning is my favorite sequence of this movie because, remember grandma? They're staying at her freaking house. They gotta help out the grandma. There is one funny moment when the family arrives as the mom is horribly worried because the grandma's standing on a step ladder. She runs up and is like, Mom, this is why we're here. You're going to kill yourself by going on the step ladder.
Danny Glover was there, though, helping her out.
Howard, was spotting her on the ladder. But the next morning, the whole family's gathering for a breakfast of pancakes.
Yes, some cake.
To get fueled up to help Grandma in the yard. And they don't have any syrup. So they're like, Grandma, where's the syrup? And she says, oh, it's I got some extra on the shelf in the garage. This garage is not attached to the house.
No.
They have to exit the house and probably walk at least like 15 to 20 feet to this garage.
So the sister is going to do it first, and then she realizes, oh, shoot, he's out there. And then so she has to go out there with the sister.
So it creates a comical situation because that's where Christopher was sleeping. But to have this situation be that is the place where Grandma stores her extra syrup instead of just like some other reason that she'd be worried about them going to the garage.
Yeah.
It's just insane. The sister's trying to open the garage door, and they're fighting over the remote.
Then the dad comes out.
There's nothing to see.
Papa
and the dad's
comes out, and he's like, just open the door.
He says,
Jesus Christ.
Like, women be open garage doors. And then he opens it, and not there.
The car is gone.
Goes grab the syrup, goes back inside.
Yeah.
It's an empty garage, not even a car in there, but apparently there's some syrup in there somewhere.
Yeah.
There's some weird bit where the sister's trying to watch the music gossip show, but Jessica's worried that there'll be something about her in it.
So she's trying to just turn it off, keep it off, change the channel.
And the grandma intervenes. She's like, you know what? You don't need to help me in the yard.
Go to the fucking beach. Go to the beach.
Let's go to the beach. Let's go get away.
Yeah, play.
And then she tosses the keys to the girl, and then they go to the beach.
They go to the beach.
Grandma ain't getting no help on this.
No.
Grandma's only giving. When is Grandma going to get some?
When is Grandma going to get some?
From Howard later that night.
Howard the Duck.
That is a crime. Bestiality. It's no joke. So then at the beach.
At the beach.
I don't know if Jessica saw the car of Christopher, but she sees, or we'll put together that she saw his bucket hat. Sits down and then starts doing this whole thing next to him. Be like, oh, is this seat taken? Oh, this is such nice weather. Oh, can you lay? Hey, you sleeping? Oh, I'm sorry, I woke you up. You want to
rub this all over my back?
She knew it was Christopher.
Yes, because the whole time he's kind of just like shaking his head, no, nodding, no, nope. Like he's not saying anything though. And then like after she asks him, can you put it on my back? He's like, how do you know it's me? The fucking hat.
But in this scene, she was such kind of nobody in this movie is a great actor.
No.
And it was something where we didn't actually realize she was being like sarcastic and putting stuff on.
Well,
we she maybe is just nice, but just not to Christopher because he's a celebrity piece of shit. But then it's like, nope, they're at the beach, and then what? They got to switch cars because the paparazzi is there. They're going to find my car. Here, we'll go in your grandma's car. Oh no, we're leaving and it's the paparazzi's there.
Yeah.
It's always the paparazzi.
So, but they don't understand. I don't know if they're
I don't
stalking
understand
everybody.
How the paparazzi in this movie works.
Yes, because it almost looks like they realize it's Christopher in this car.
Yeah, how were they there? How do they know he was there? Was it because of his car?
Oh.
I don't know. But then
they're starting to approach them in the vehicle.
They're honing in on the grandma's car as they're leaving in
But this is when they put on the disguises or whatever.
But he didn't really. He still had the hat on. He just put his collar up more.
Yes, but that's the disguise.
And the girl, or Jessica, puts a scarf on. But then they're all like crowded around this car, and then they see it's not him. And they walk away, and it's like, why were they honing in on the car anyways? They doing that to every car that's leaving there? It's crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird...
it's something where celebrities might put up with paparazzi inconveniencing them, but if every single person leaving this beach is having their privacy broken by the paparazzi, probably somebody's going to say something.
Yes.
Somebody's just going to run them over.
Yes.
But they escape the beach, and Christopher's like, hey, you know what? Let's go hang around town. I'll show you the sights until the paparazzi leave the beach, and then we can go back and switch my cars. Whatever. Then we get montage time.
Madness ensues.
Putting on sunglasses, going to the Hollywood stars, the Chinese theater.
It was kind of a cool little... It was giving you like a lot of street signs. They were really trying to tell you they were in Hollywood.
There was one time where they flashed the street signs and they just go in big on like Sunrise Boulevard. Los Angeles.
You see the Hollywood sign. It was a cool little, montage. Not a dress-up montage, like we love the most, but
well, she did wear some sunglasses at one point, so that was maybe the closest. But yeah, I kind of thought it would, wear some hats or something.
Yeah, they could
give me something.
They bought a disposable camera to capture their memories.
Yes, that
very
is key.
Important. It is
lots
important.
of photos taken.
Yes,
and this is all set to a song that is a duet between Christopher Wilde and a girl.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's actually the girl that plays Jessica, who I believe is Danielle Campbell, but it ends with them in the car singing the song together, so it's a real song within that universe.
Yes.
Possibly sang by both of those people, but not literally by those people.
No, it was weird.
Bit of a mind bend situation. And there was some point earlier, I think, where he was singing a song on the radio that was one of his, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? So this is showing her warming up to him by now wanting to sing along to his songs on the radio. As I say here in my notes, she seems to be genuinely enjoying herself.
It's kind of confusing. There are, I don't think he's like a shitty person. I don't know. It's a really weird... He seems decent, but he has moments, just like she does, where it's she's all cool, and then she's like, eh. But same with him, all cool and nice, and then he just gets douchey just for a moment.
As I said when we were watching it, teens, man, that's a kind of
very
wave
angsty.
The magic wand of being magic in maybe a Marvel movie. How can they do that? Doctor Strange, he's magic.
Yeah.
In Metal Gear Solid, it'd be it's nano machines. Here, it's all Disney Channel original movies. It's hormones. That's why these kids get mad at each other and then solve their problems within 5 minutes.
Fair.
But this all seems to be a great time, and then the paparazzi.
Yeah, always the papas.
And this time, there's 2 black vans following them.
Oh,
so this is where they go on an off-road road trip somewhere near Los Angeles. They were just, in the thick of Los Angeles, and now somehow they're in the outskirts.
Yep, they're in the almost desert swamp area.
They're driving for a bit, and then they somehow wind up in a sinkhole, a giant mud pit.
Giving directions, and he turns in just the wrong way, right?
Something like that, and this is more quicksand than the quicksand in the Wizards of Waverly Place movie.
The whole car is engulfed within a minute or two.
Yeah, they get out of the car and then they're in the mud.
Yeah, they're on top of the car trying to get onto a tree log, and Christopher makes it up.
Not to be, we got to be distinguishing a tree log specifically, not not some other kind of log. This is a log
turd,
that came from a tree.
a big old turd. So he's made it onto this, and he's trying to help her up, but she pulls him into the swamp thing.
So much action stuff that I was outside of the ring.
The whole car gets sucked down.
The car just sinks into the...
It disappears. We see it get sucked down, and then obviously the bubbles, show up, and she's like, oh, my backpack. And then she just twirls her hand in the water for a minute, and then pulls her backpack out.
It's not really clear why she's so concerned about her backpack.
Does he still have the hat?
Yeah, because we see that later. But I don't know why she's so concerned about the backpack, but she gets it somehow.
And his phone still works despite having been soaked in the swampy waters.
I was only there for a little bit.
Fair.
It wasn't inside the car.
But his mother and father are trying to call him because they don't know where the heck he is. but he's got bad connection. They can't really communicate. It's like, hello, are you there? Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yep. That was a key detail.
Yeah. And yeah, so they just, yeah.
And almost nobody cares about this car sinking. There is only one other line referencing it, and it's the grandma saying, I was trying to get rid of that car for a while. And it's like, Grandma, why'd you have Howard fix it for you then?
Yeah.
You could have sold it to some hipster pretty easily, I'm sure. It's kind of like that episode of Breaking Bad where the RV runs out of battery juice and Walt and Jesse are wandering around in the desert, and here they're wandering around in the desert and they just kind of turn into a bickering married couple being like, you're horrible at directions. Well, you're mean. And
they come up to like a swamp and then she just pushes him in the water.
Well, so they're literally going to be hiking back to the beach.
Yes.
And I think Jessica is saying like, hey, you're fake or whatever. You never tell the truth.
He's like, I'm fake. And then she goes off like,
and he says, oh, I'll tell you a secret that I haven't told anybody. And as he's about to tell it, he then falls backwards into
I think she pushes him.
He stumbles back. He's like walking into a bunch of cattails and then just falls into the water.
She does say something funny and she's like, your secret is you keep a jar of toenail clippings or something.
Hilarious.
I like that. That was good.
But this isn't a swamp because this has to be clean enough water that it gets all the mud off.
It does. It gets all the mud off. They're no longer dirty people.
And then they're kind of the same, or I maybe shouldn't say erotic, but the same kind of like, flirtatious nature of the lions and Can You Feel the Love Tonight and the Lion King. We're like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
They're splashing around.
They were like dunking each other.
Flirting in the pond water.
They're like trying to drown each other. I think it's like attempted murder.
They come out and they're all clean, and then they're kind of chatting on
squeaky
the
clean.
shore. Somehow, somewhere in this middle, I guess Jessica had switched the keys with her sister. So her sister then is using the key fob, and she finds Christopher's car and sees his registration information inside of it.
His license or whatever. Yes.
And then I think she takes it to his house where she meets Stubby.
Yes. And that's it.
That doesn't really go anywhere.
We don't know what happens. That's a big plot hole. We don't know. Yeah.
Somehow. Whatever. Who cares?
Who cares?
As they were talking, was kind of getting into like some realistic like shit where Jessica's saying like, your parents work for you. That's weird. That's not normal.
Your best friend is your chauffeur, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And basically like you don't have any real relationships that aren't transactional. And basically telling him to, like, check your privilege. Like, you don't live a life like normal people. You're not normal. And so he's like, no, I'm totally normal. But that kind of all splash around in a pond, you know, that's the great equalizer.
It is.
If you splash around in a pond with somebody, then I'm like, you know what, Elon, you are a cool guy. Please buy Twitter. Oh, yeah.
Is this where they get up onto the beach?
It's a tributary pond to the beach.
Yeah, to the beach.
Not quite. Christopher, to get real and say like, hey man, it is kind of hard being a celebrity because I got all of my fans and I don't want to disappoint them. That's why I'm doing this dumb movie that I don't want to do because people told me I have to do it, so I'm doing it.
But this is kind of where he kind of realizes that if he does the movie, he won't be able to do the tour.
Or it'll just be very hard on him.
Yeah.
And then she's like, why are you doing that? That kind of sucks. You're not making your own choices. And he's like, hey man, it's for the fans, brother. Love the fans. It's all about the WWE universe, brother.
Yeah, because his parents this whole time are trying to schedule his tour around filming dates and stuff like that for the movie.
I like the way you say tour.
Oh.
I'm going on a tour.
I don't even know how I said it.
I say weird stuff too that I insist is totally normal, but I won't give an example now because then you'll say it's weird. And then, as Jacob said, they wind up back at the beach. For a second, I'm like, is this the same beach? And it does turn out to be the same beach.
Yeah, it's the same beach, and
they're holding hands.
Yeah, but immediately there's two surfers that come.
Not immediately because they warming up to each other more.
Oh no, but
they're going in for a kiss.
Yeah,
and then he sees surfers, and he's like, oh! And I thought it was gonna be like, it's paparazzi surfers, but nope, it's just regular surfers. So then he goes into like secretive mode, puts his hat on.
And this is like, this ends here, right? And this is like right after they had like a big like heart to heart, moment to moment, like I've never been so happy before in my life. It was so great spending time with you. And then he's like, yeah, this is just done.
Yeah,
People
it goes super dramatic.
Yeah, it's like a big turn.
And he says, I need your camera too. You can't develop those pictures. Nobody can know about this. Can't say anything. It's got to be completely a secret.
See, and in the moment, obviously, they want you to think like he's like actually like a dick. But I was kind of thinking, I'm sure maybe you were too, like, okay, he just wants the photos for himself to remember the good times that he had.
No, the movie's making us think he's a dick, and I don't need too much convince.
Okay, fair enough.
And then she's like, well, I need to get home, because she's always in these situations.
Well, because she's starting to cry, though, now, because so, like, none of this was, like,
He says, I need cab fare, and he just gives her a wad of fucking cash.
Yes, like, a lot of money. He's like, yeah, I still owe you for
like, hey,
stay.
I'm going to pay you to be quiet.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, the whole thing, though, like, he's trying to protect her is what, like, the underlying thing is, because he understands that paparazzi's really shitty.
As I say here in my notes right now, are paparazzi's the biggest villains in DCOM?
Just the biggest villains in Hollywood, outside of,
So he's walking onto the beach. Everybody's recognizing him as Christopher Wilde. They're swarming him. Paparazzi show up. She's walking away, though, Jessica. She's crying. She goes into a phone booth.
And then there's some paparazzi guy taking pictures of her.
And I don't know why.
No.
They didn't really set it up. Maybe I missed it, but they didn't really set up that he saw them from far away. He's just like, why would this single girl be crying when Christopher Wilde's there? Clearly, there must be some kind of connection.
And that leads to a whole other little storyline.
Before that, though, Chris is at some kind of recording session for his album, and at the end of it, his fake celebrity girlfriend Alexis comes.
Overhears him talking kind of about...
Oh, to Stubby, maybe?
Yes, he's talking to Stubby about, like, the great day he had, and just saying, like, yeah, I've just never felt, like I could be myself around anybody before. She was so real and honest. He's so adamant about...
You're never honest. You lie all the time,
yes.
Bruh.
He's so adamant about Jessica being so honest. She's just so honest.
That is key.
But,
and then Alexis breaks up with them.
Yeah. Alexis,
and she's got a date already with Zach.
Yeah.
Zach who?
Efron.
Zach of Zach and Cody.
Ooh, okay.
She's on that sweet life now.
Okay.
So then he's like, shit, I'm free. Let's go. Let's do something crazy. Me and you, Stubby. Let's hit the town.
So they go to 21 and under, right?
No, because actually what happens is the paparazzi get those pictures of Jessica.
That's true. She also sees, so he has the pictures that the camera that he took
gets on
from
like
her.
a big screen Skype session with his movie director, be like, they know who this fucking bitch is. You gotta contain this story or you ain't gonna be in my movie.
I was gonna say the pictures, the camera that he took from her, they're his background screensavers on his computer.
Shit, he developed them and digitized them.
And so they're scrolling on his computer, and that's what she kind of maybe sees over his shoulder, too, that the pictures of her and him are...
Well, whatever the case, the cat's out of the bag.
Yes.
The paparazzi, those scumbags, they know about Jessica. So she leaves California, says goodbye to Grandma. This is where Grandma says, I don't care that you destroyed my car.
Basically, yeah.
It seems so weird. Grandma is basically a non-factor in this movie.
Well, let's just say it's really only like 4 characters.
It's just the justification for them to be able
Christopher,
to go there,
Jessica, Stubby, and
get a car
sister.
with being still teenagers or whatever.
Yes, because she could not rent a car because they had to be at least 25 to rent a car.
They're figuring out that legal specificity.
Yeah.
They return to Kalamazoo though, and there's reporters.
The fucking
I don't know if they're
paparazzi's
technically paparazzi because they're in Kalamazoo. Or if they're just reporters.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they stalked her from California.
But they're all on her lawn.
They're literally like camping on her lawn. Like there's like 20 of them.
They're pieces of shit.
And yes, she's talking to her sister about it. They kind of like.
So the sister's kind of glamming it up, posing for them. But they go inside and they turn on Starstruck, which is the name of the music gossip show. Which is weird that he also has a song that has the same name as that show.
I agree.
Conflict of interest? I don't know. But
or just great marketing.
Christopher's being interviewed about Jessica, and he's like, I don't know who she is. I got a lot of fans. Maybe she's trying to play up that she had a relationship with me. I don't know who she is. God bless her, though. Love my fans. And Jessica's like, oh, how could he lie? So then she goes out and talks to the reporters and gives this huge, impassioned speech.
She's crying.
Like,
she's all
what kind of person is Christopher Wilde? And she's like, I don't know. I don't know who
I never
he
met
is.
the one that you think he is or something.
Because I don't know if anybody's met him. Because you've made him into what you want.
Yes.
You've brought him up. You propped him up as a celebrity so you could bring him down. You've destroyed a good man. And I'm like,
good human being.
Settle down, Disney, being like, we got it hard, okay?
Paparazzi's
I'm saying, like,
awful.
hey, paparazzi are bad. I wouldn't like them, but, like,
Are paparazzi, like, nowadays, are they even as big of a deal as they maybe were back in the days before, like, social media? They probably...
I guess
probably
it,
aren't
yeah,
as
that's
big of a
true.
deal.
That is, I mean, there is TMZ is obviously still a thing, but I think it's maybe toned down some. But then it's like, hey, man, it's not that bad being a celebrity.
We get the
now
message.
we're gonna get Christopher singing like "Imagine" by John Lennon to be like, hey, man, I got it hard. Yeah, this was just, it was too much for this movie.
Yes,
that we have to defend celebrities or whatever. At the end, they're like, hey, did you get all that? They're like, hey, what's your favorite song? I don't know. They say something at the end.
Do you believe in magic?
Like that they weren't fully internalizing what she was saying. Then Christopher has a reality check after he sees Jessica's speech on the news, and he's like, shit, she was so honest. I made sure to hit that home to Stubby in the previous scene that she's honest. And Stubby's like, you made her lie. You're a piece of shit. And he's like, oh, fuck, man. I gotta make this right. I gotta control my life. So then he goes and tells the producer or director on the set of Warsaw Spring.
Yeah. It was giving me really, I don't know, there's a famous movie scene where there's two people kissing in the rain. I don't know what
it's
that's
called.
Singing in the
Spider-Man by Sam Raimi.
Oh, that's true. Singing in the Rain, maybe? I don't know. But like, it was an interesting...
We're cinemaphiles here. We know the movies. We know that one where they're kissing in the rain.
Yes. Here's looking at you, kid. I don't know.
Well, that would be Casablanca.
Yeah, wasn't that? I don't know.
I haven't seen it.
But
let me tell you about Can of Worms, though. The epitome of cinema.
It was kind of a cool little, like, behind the scenes of this is how movies are made. They're doing fake rain, and it kind of shows that. I liked it. I like the movie
it's
within a movie.
Magic, right?
A movie
there.
within a movie, man.
It's meta.
Yeah.
But he says, hey, I don't want to be in this movie. And the director's like, oh, we can make it work with your schedule. And he's like, nope, I don't want to. I'm making this decision for myself.
And then this is when he immediately, then he goes home. And he like kind of tells his parents, and like, oh, well, we're currently scheduling your tour around.
And he says you're fired.
He does. He fires his parents. He's like, I just need you to be parents, not my whatever, you know.
You're not telling me when to go on tour, okay?
And
you're fired.
Yeah, and I never really got vibes that like his parents were the ones like making him do all this stuff. Really,
there's like very
shitty.
slight, but there's not enough time in this movie.
No, that's fair.
That
parent-son
realistically, but it's one of those things where it's like a trope where you know subconsciously what they're supposed to be like, and you fill in some of the pieces. With that being said, though, saying this movie didn't have time, Can of Worms, there's a lot in that movie. They're not even aliens pop up until like 30 minutes or something in that movie. It had a 2 weeks earlier at the beginning. Oh, man, Can of Worms.
Oh, man.
Round of applause for Can of Worms. There's that part where he puts Scott, the bully's face on a pig, JPEG, in the computer lab, and then Scott's crony says, that's your head on the pig.
I do remember
Great movie. Scott is also, he's a jock, but he's good at computers, you know?
True.
They say he's the perfect specimen, and you ain't getting any arguments from me. Christopher, on the other hand, scares me.
I wonder how old he was during this movie.
He was 21, but
that's right.
They say he is 17. He tells his parents, I just want to be a regular 17-year-old.
Sterling Knight.
Too late, because you're older than 17 and you look scary. Now it's time for the big dance, a dance that had not been referenced as far as I know.
This is our big game.
This is how we get to end the final 10 minutes of the movie.
Like
to have
a lot
cute
of DCOMs.
Little romantic moment, because... Jacob, you need to take this away because you called what was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that Christopher was going to be at this dance. I told Lucas, I said, Christopher is going to be at this dance, and he was.
And what did I say? I said, no shit, you think this movie's going to end in Cala-fucking-Mizzou at a high school with 10 minutes left and Christopher's not going to show up?
Did you mention the whole sister-sister combo between one another before they went in there? How she's
it was
kind of funny.
Sister's
funny,
kind of
cute.
Sarah, this older sister's taking some pity on her because of the reporters and shit.
Yes.
And she says, hey, come to the dance with me.
You gotta look pretty enough to be my sister.
And Jessica, there's the one moment I genuinely laughed where Jessica says, hey, you know what? You might not be that bad of a sister. And Sarah's like, aw, okay, pretend like you don't know me. And then they walked into the dance. So it was funny.
Liked it.
But as Jacob said, Christopher appears and sings a very emotional song with very direct lyrics and a direct title.
Yeah.
The title is What You Mean to Me.
It was definitely written, on his plane ride over, to Michigan.
He seems to have brought his whole band with him.
Yes.
Some of the lyrics I jotted down are, here I am with all my heart, and I knew I let you down. As long as some other stuff, like, you made me see the real me or whatever. Another one of my notes is, he looks so scary as he's singing it. And at the end, though, Jessica still's kind of giving him the cold shoulder.
Never gives him a kiss.
She's like, what do you expect me to do, huh? You sing this big song? Like, what do you think I should do?
You expect me to take you back? Well, yes.
And then the camera people swarm in.
Yes, and he gives a whole speech. He's like, I'm so fake. I'm a fakey faker.
He admits the line.
Says amazing, so great. He says,
I'm crazy about Jessica.
Yeah.
And then she
forgives him. He tells the paparazzi to screw off.
And the audience applauds. And the sister gets offered to dance by Christopher, but she faints.
She faints. So and amazed. What's his name? Stubby just kind of picks her up and he's like, I'm going to deal with this.
That's not what...
That's what happens.
It is, but not the way that Chick is implying it sounds. Then Christopher officially asks Jessica out on a real date. Without disguises.
Yeah. She's like, well, I have to wear a disguise? And he's like, no.
Only if you're into it.
No. Yeah.
And then it's time for Stubby to rap us out. Literally, he gets up on stage, raps for a bit, and then it's roll credits.
It's pretty fire. But all we do is we see Jessica and Christopher just slow dancing during the rap, which was kind of weird.
As everybody around them is kind of bouncing around.
Yeah.
And they're not even really slow dancing. I mean, hey, I'm no expert on dancing myself, but they're just like locked hands facing each other, like kind of holding their arms straight out. And then, it's the end of the movie. I was thinking, I wasn't really paying attention
to he's rapping like
the lyricism of Stubby, but it seemed all right. And I believe we'll see Stubby in a couple years. I should have said Starstruck was the first movie of 2010. And in 2012, there's a movie I think called Let It Shine that is like a hip hop, Disney's been overdue. They gave us one jump roping movie that was kind of hip hop ish. And then we'll get another one in 2012. And that's it. Deal with it. And I had to deal with this movie. This was Starstruck.
And it struck us as...
Jacob seemed hotter on it at the end than me. Jacob's like, it cured my depression and headache.
It did. It gave me more than what I expected. You were talking it up kind of on the way over, and I was kind of, feeling like, okay, maybe this won't be very good, but it was. I think it was an okay. It was an okay.
It was amazing. It was a good movie. Very good.
It was above average, but it wasn't great.
I would not say it's above average.
Well,
you read the synopsis of this movie.
Reskinned, stuck in the suburbs. That's what it is.
It's kind of what you think or you remember of Stuck in the Suburbs as being, but it really wasn't what Stuck in the Suburbs was. But this is kind of the movie I maybe expected Stuck in the Suburbs to be.
Yeah.
That's fair. The thing is, you read the synopsis, you start watching this movie, seeing as many Disney Channel original movies as we have. This is one of those ones where you can fully plug in all the pieces and kind of see where the movie's going to go. With maybe some surprises along the way.
Sinking
car in my bingo card, but that's the wild card spot where that's the Demi Lovato with the face full of flour.
Yeah.
No way I could have predicted that.
No.
So there's always some surprises in these, but overall, Sterling Knights, he's a creepo. I don't know.
Yeah.
And none of the actors and actresses in this are particularly good. Music was fine.
Like the music, I would say above average music.
Is 80 minutes. So it's a point in its favor.
Above average, we like that.
Overall, I don't really know. You can check my Letterboxd list, fat _
not a top
tomato.
10, not a top 20 even.
Definitely, no. This is probably probably top
50.
50.
Yeah.
That's meaningful to people, right? Someday
above average.
I have a running ranking of all of the movies, Letterboxd. I don't know if it's /fat _ tomato, but that's my profile if you want to see my power rankings. I did update it last night. I watched Can of Worms. Previously, Can of Worms was my number 2.
Oh.
And it slipped to 3. I was like, High School Musical, I think, is better than Can of Worms. But Can of Worms, special place in my heart. Next, Second Chance, I don't know, maybe it's a check back in with...
Don't Look Under the Bed?
Don't Look Under the Bed.
Oh, I can't not have that as one.
That's the thing is, like, I don't want to give second chances to movies I really didn't like. You know, I'm not going to watch Johnny Tsunami and be like, maybe I just was like, check back in. It's been a few years or a couple of years since we watched it.
Maybe go back and rewatch every movie we did with Sam.
Well, Don't Look Under the Bed we did watch with Sam. I don't know. Something we will check back in right now is rewinding that clock back to a little date called September 11th, 2001.
I was thinking about this like a minute or two ago, and my only explanation that they might be able to stop it is if the terrorists recognize...
If they're fans.
Exactly, and they want like an autograph, and he just does a little negotiating, like, I'll give you my autograph if...
Blue Steel look.
Oh, yeah.
And since they're not teen girls, they might be like...
immune
But they might be like me and be like, I am scared right now. And they might look at him as the face, the demonic representation of Western capitalism and be like, nah, this plane's still going down, brother.
Yeah. So
and realistically, he's only on one of the planes. So.
That's what I was going to say, too. They can only prevent one, and it's the one that goes down in the field. So the towers are still going down, the Pentagon's hit, but they stopped the one that went down in the field.
Howard, though. If Howard was there, he would have saved the day. He's very handy.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to write in about maybe you were a big fan of Sterling Knight from his work in this movie or Sonny with a Chance, you can write us at awholeNewPod@gmail.com, as well as you could follow us and tweet at us at AWNPod at Twitter. Thank you, as always, to Dustin for running that. But no thank you to Dustin for having a handle that I can't always remember the name. As well as finding us on Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, youtube.com/awholenewpod, where you can like, comment, and subscribe to our videos. I had fun. I went through our...
Devin Bossert followed The Whole New Pod.
Well, there you go. Another person for us to dox out there is... somebody who doesn't listen to the podcast, I doubt, and has never been on an episode. What was I going to say? Oh, I took a screen cap of very funny on our Cadet Kelly episode. There's 2 comments.
Oh, like new
ones? There's more than one comment, but as I always joked about of getting comments on videos of people in different languages being like, why isn't this the right movie? One, I believe, was in Spanish, and that was like, this is false, not the movie. And we just got another one recently that I went through and translated through Google, and it was like, it seemed to be some kind of Middle Eastern alphabet. I don't know the different types there, but it was somebody being like, where's the movie? So that reigns true. But if you want to make us smile a bit, you can comment in something that's not just asking us, why is this the full movie that we uploaded? Or you can continue doing that, I guess. More power to you. And more power to us as we get out of here.
Yeah.
And this will hopefully be a shorter episode for me to edit. That's what I'm all about.
I love that.
Jacob, what did that package say again?
Big, chewy nerds.
Big, chewy nerds. Bite right into them.
Who am I? Let's go to the beach! Beach! Ninky Minaj.